Hi, I'm Jeff Byers. I'm your instructor for this course, NA 235 Character Modeling and Rigging. This is Module 4. So I'm hoping you guys are staying healthy and safe. In this module, Module 4, if we go into Module 4, you'll see that we're going to start creating a new character outfit. We're going to create a mood board, character mood board for modeling and texturing. And we're going to start the modeling process. Here's a character that I created from the character that we modeled in Project 1. And we've got, you'll be able to see the video here when you come in, when I post it tomorrow. And so just to kind of take you through it, we start with Module 4. We're going to continue on with Module 5, 6, and 7, and these work together, so we'll have 4 weeks to complete this entire project. Each one of these modules is worth 25 points. You guys can read your objectives, but I'll go ahead and just condense it down into something you guys can understand. Basically, the whole idea is that we are going to create a model and texture mood board of the character we want to create. This character can be hand-drawn by us if it's detailed enough. You can see how detailed this is. If you don't feel confident in being able to detail your characters enough, or your drawings to get them up to snuff enough, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to find a character from the internet, and that's perfectly fine. This is for portfolio use, so the idea is, yeah, of course you want to, if you find artwork that you really like the character costume, go out and seek out who actually created that character drawing and ask them if it's okay for you to use it to model. Again, this is you're not going to be making money off of this. You're not going to be stealing anything. What I would suggest that you do is always reach out first. But to me, I consider it still fair game. You can't claim that's your artwork. You cannot claim that. But you can, I feel like you can look at something and get some ideas. You know, obviously, if you like the character's hat, you might be able to take the hat and put it on a different, on a different character, looking character. The idea is get ideas, put them together. So basically what this student did, instead of drawing it out, they found the character that they'd like to create, and then they went out and they had to find references of texturing and modeling that they can use to better understand what the texture or tactile feel would look like, meaning that you see this is definitely something you want to try to transpose onto your character as far as texturing goes. So the more you put on your mood board, and I want you to make sure I know where it's going. So basically we've got this piece right here, piece of clothing right here, and they have a line going to that, so that's what it's going to look like. Denim, they point to the denim area there and the different types of cloth. So that is basically complete. I am happy with this. This would get full credit. Okay. If you don't want to draw it, this is what you do. You go out and find it. Question is, though, you're going to have a front and back view of your character. So you're going to have to redraw this character front and back view to be able to model the clothing properly. Okay. That's the only hang up with getting stuff like that. Yeah, you can get away with pretty simply grabbing a character, but then you got to draw front and back view, front, side, and back view, whatever is best for you to help you model. Okay, so basically that's what I'm looking for. Okay, so I got an example up here, and then I need a front, side, and back view. This is a great example. I'm sure you guys have seen this before. I think this is called the Sentinel. This is something that was done in Blender. And this is some great artwork. And so you got the front view, very detailed. I mean, right down to the stitching. So this is what we're looking for when we're modelers. We need to see that detail. If you are drawing this and you just do an outline and don't show any detail, your work is only going to be, your model is only going to be as good as the actual drawing itself. Okay, the reference itself. So the better the reference, the better the model is going to look. Okay. So, and then I go down here and we talk about what you're going to be learning, and the whole idea is that I don't mind if you draw your stuff out. That's fine. Okay. But if you do a drawing, you don't have to color it. That's not necessary. This is the actual drawing that she used for her modeling. Here's her mood board. So the idea was that she told me exactly what was going where. She even had the mechanical arm and the hand, what that would look like modeled. These are all great images. She got full credit for this. This is really well done. She has a good feel for form and function. So this is her own. I love this. This goes a long ways. If you guys can handle and are able to draw details, and really good details, you don't have to have a color, you don't have to have it shaded or anything. That does help, but that's what the mood board is for. The mood board is really going to help you with the texture, the tactile feel for what the textures are going to look like. Okay, so you have to have your mood board. Okay, whether you draw it yourself or you find something that you want to go with, another drawing that somebody else has done, something maybe like this. You still, even if you give me this, which is really safe and fast, but the thing is you have to go out there and find out what does that shirt really look like? What is the texture look like? What's the color, right? A drawing can only go so far. It's great. This detail will definitely show you everything you need to know for modeling. I have no problem. I could go in there and model this right now, right from this image, and get all these details in there, and it would look awesome. But the thing is, now I'm off to texturing. Now what do I look at? Do I guess? No. You never want to sit there and guess. It takes you 3 to 4 times longer guessing what something should look like when you have it predefined and pre-planned, and that's what the character mood board is for. Okay, it gives you're basically setting yourself up for success, not for failure when you do a mood board. You always want, when you're doing a character or anything else, you want to have both the model reference and the texture reference, and this serves as both. Okay, alright, so when you get done with those two things, then I want you to start modeling right away. Okay, so I've got I'll have a basic, very basic, get you refreshed on how to start modeling. There's going to be 2 different ways. One is going to be right directly off the object itself, and that will be, I'll have that done by tomorrow when you guys get started. And this is going to be a refresher course on how to pull, extrude. We all know how to do that. And then I'm going to show you a way to do pants and shirts, more loose fitting clothing. Those are 2 different types of techniques that you would use to model. Okay, and then I kind of, for fun, I go into some clothing simulators. If you have some extra cash just burning a hole in your pocket, you can go and look at that video, and it'll show you some of the coolest, newest cloth simulators that are really neat. So the assignment, just like what I've been talking about, you're going to create a new outfit for your basic base character you've already have done, you already have finished. You want to use that base, you probably want to go right from the rigging aspect of it right into here so you can use the same rig, because you're going to have to pose the character, put her on the pedestal, or him on a pedestal, and you're going to have to pose it. And the only way to pose it, unless you go into ZBrush, okay, is to rig it. Okay, all right, so I would not scale the object, the character. Use the base character that you used before and pull the clothing and start. You don't have to start from scratch again. Don't do that. Use your base model that you had before, pull the clothing, the new clothing off of the model, or follow kind of the steps that I talk about in the new tutorial that I'll have up. And of course, you guys can look at how I'm going to grade you, and then turn-in instructions are the same. So I wish you the best of luck. Please make sure that when you do the mood boards, they're 11 by 17. I usually start, and this is your turn-in. This is what you're going to turn in. Usually whenever I do any artwork, I go 11 by 17 by 300 DPI. And then I go down. I down res to 72 and turn it in. That's what I want. I want it to be a JPEG as well. It's in here, this part right here. So mood board, concept art, I usually do 11 by 17, 11 by 17, and I start at 300 DPI, which is, or PPI, pixels per inch, and whatever when you're done, you need to get it down to 72, okay? So, and then it needs to be JPEG, and that should be a very manageable size that you can turn in. And then of course you're going to be turning in, I need 2 articles of clothing. You're going to be creating 2 articles of clothing of the character that you decided to do. So let's say I decided to do, let's say I'm going to model this character. Well, I can do the jacket, I can do the hat and the gloves. I would suggest it's up to you, whatever you want to do. If you want to play it safe, you could do the belt and the hat or gloves or whatever. Or you can, but you need 2 pieces of clothing, okay? And it would be good that you start off doing something substantial, because we only have, after this week, we only have 3 weeks to get it finished. So you got to consider the texturing phase 2 as well, okay? That'll be coming up in 3 weeks, the texturing stage. So the more you get done, the bigger stuff you get done, the better you are. If you have more, a lot of us have a lot of time right now, unfortunately. So it's good. It's a good time to really knock this stuff out and get ahead, and I'm okay with that. Yeah, this is a very basic. It's a car, but you can set things up for a character too as well. You just got to match up. You got to make sure everything's matched up. You won't have to really do that unless you want to bring in, because you're not really modeling the character again, right? So you can just bring in an image of the the pieces that you have, but you may want to bring in your object here to be able to have that in the background and make sure you're doing it correctly, and making sure that you got the portions right. In fact, what I would probably do is, let's see if I can get my model up here really quick. What I would probably do is just bring in your, you'll have your model in here, is take, just so you get the proportions right, you can do this. You can get the head on there too if you want to. So here's my character. You can actually take the grid off and do a screenshot and bring it into a paint program and go ahead and draw your clothes over top of it. If you wanted to do that, you could do that. That way you have the exact proportions of the character that you have in your modeling. And that's what I would recommend. It's a decent way. You're not cheating. I don't care if you do that. You've already got the base model done, so why not just draw over it? And you can draw over it, and then you can erase or get rid of the character behind it. Okay. So I've had students do that. In fact, that's probably a very efficient way of doing something. Is if you want to create your own or experiment with your own clothing and drawing your clothing, you can do that. Okay, so that can be pretty easily done with the character you already have. So you can use the front side, and you can get, let's see, the front side. We can turn this into orthographic. We could do the back. Okay, so you can get the front, you can do a screenshot of the back, or even a rendering of the back if you want a really clear image, and then you can go back to the side. Okay, alright, now my head is separate from the body and it's really high resolution, but anyway, those are the things you can do. Okay, alright, so that's it. Wish you the best of luck. And I hope I hope you have fun with this project. I know I had a lot of fun doing it. The 2 weeks we were kind of off um, during the spring break, I went ahead and finished this. I'm going to finish texturing my character, but I'm excited to show you guys what I end up with and get you excited about getting your characters all finalized. And this will be your new original character. This will be your thing. I hope you have fun with it. All right, have fun.